If I wanted to start YouTube from scratch in 2026, this is exactly what I would do. And I'm making this video in retrospect because I only started creating on this channel a little over a year ago. And though I've seen a lot of growth in this short period of time, I grew my subscribers to over 4,000, over 5,000 watch hours, and I became a YouTube partner all in 1 year. There are some things I wish I knew before I started. Not knowing these things slowed down the growth of my channel, and I made a whole lot of mistakes that I wouldn't want you to make. So here are the things I would do differently if I had to start all over again. So the first thing I would do is I would just start. I would not worry about having the perfect gear, having the perfect studio background, or looking perfect in my videos, because I've come to realize that those are not the things that make a YouTube video successful. So when I first started this channel, I had a Dell Precision laptop, I had a Rode NT2A mic, and I had a Focusrite 2i2 sound card. And in my mind, I felt I had all the gear I needed. I was going to use my iPhone to record my videos, just like I am doing right now. But I was surprised that with all the videos I made using those gear, the video that eventually got my channel monetized was a video I recorded and edited on my phone with a cheap lav mic that I attached to my shirt. So I quickly realized that it's not the gear that make people successful. Those can come as an added advantage after you have learned the basic things of what makes a video great. And the way to get there is to just start and not worry about gear, fancy background. You have to develop the skill of actually learning how to speak, actually learning how to make the videos. The second thing is I would not use a script. I would learn to speak naturally. And I know this is one of the most difficult things for anyone to do. So when I first started, I would write my script and I would go over it with AI. And when I felt it was perfect, then I would record my videos this way. I would literally have my script in front of me on my phone or on my laptop. I would read a line, memorize it, raise up my head, and then spit it out. And it's not as if this process was not successful or the videos weren't good, but the videos were not as good as I would want them to be. I could still sense that I'm not okay with this level of communication coming from me. And majority of time, the raw footage would be like an hour long, when after editing, I would just get maybe 9 or 10 minutes out of it. So the editing process itself was very, very difficult. So I did some research and I found out that many top creators were using a teleprompter to record their videos. And I couldn't buy one, so I made a DIY teleprompter. And it was good. But the problem was I had to learn how to use it because it takes a high level of skill for you to be able to use a teleprompter without your audience noticing. And I could not pay for a voice-activated teleprompter app. So I was using a free app. I think was the name Parrot. I was using a free teleprompter app called Parrot to display the script on my DIY teleprompter screen. And it didn't have voice activation. I could only set the scrolling speed and I had to follow that speed when I was reading from the teleprompter. So I found out that my videos were either too slow or too fast. And the raw footage was almost an hour long. So the editing process would be difficult all over again. So I've come to realize that the time I spent trying to learn how to memorize and then recite the script or how to read it from a teleprompter, I could have just spent that time learning how to speak comfortably and naturally in my space without all the pressure of trying to sound perfect. Especially now with AI in the creator space, anyone can write a script. And I know a lot of people will say the scripts that they write are different from that which AI will write for creators that use it to write their entire script. But one thing I've noticed is if English isn't your first language, you will still end up sounding robotic because you've been trained to write English so perfect that you're actually writing like AI. You're not using the swear words that an everyday English person may be using. You're not using the slangs. And if you try to, no matter how you try to get AI to impute those things into your script so it sounds like a human wrote it, it still sounds like AI. So the only thing that really sets creators apart from each other right now is the ability to communicate in front of the camera. Because the world as we see it today, and even the media space, it's no longer just social anymore. It's become a marketplace. If you have ideas or a product that you really feel will be revolutionary, something that you really want to put out there, the best way to do it is to learn marketing skills. And the greatest marketing skills available right now is the ability to actually communicate. It used to be that the world would talk about writers, but you find out that the people being talked about now, they are not just the people who can write, they are the people who can actually speak also. So if you want to make it in the creator space, you have to learn how to speak. The third thing I would do is I would edit less. And this is one of the greatest lessons I've learned in my journey in creating on YouTube. If you are a small creator and you are trying to do a lot of edits and put in so much graphics and explainers in your videos, it's going to slow you down. So the first video I posted on YouTube actually took about a month to finish editing. And I actually edited that video twice before I posted it. I was trying so much to put in a lot of graphics, put in a lot of stuff that would make the video interesting. Even the zooms I was doing, I was using a lot of, what's it called? Motion blur, which was dragging my system to its limit. I used Premiere Pro for that video and for like the next 4 videos on my channel. And I really thought that video was going to blow up. But it got about 200 and something views in the first, should I say, 3 days. And after that, the views just stopped coming fast. Instead, it was trickling in, and that video is actually one of the worst videos on my channel. If I go back and watch it right now, I cringe. The next video I did was about how to use AI to get a fake background. And that video actually did well. And there wasn't a lot of editing there. I was just showing the process. I used just one soundtrack instead of the previous one where I used a couple of soundtracks. And there was no much zoom, no much effect. I was just showing the process, and that video was getting views and the views continued to climb. So I learned something that it's not really about the editing. It's about how useful the video is and the story. But at that point, I was still a little bit reluctant to totally reduce my editing and the fancy stuff that I would want to put inside, because I actually started YouTube for that sole purpose. I knew I was good in learning stuff, how to edit, and I was going to make that like the focal point of my channel, teach people how to grow on YouTube, and on the side I'm teaching them how to edit. But I started reducing the editing on my videos when I noticed that it was taking me a whole lot of time to put out videos on my channel. Like, even though I'm monetized right now, I don't have up to 15 videos on my channel. So if you're a small YouTuber and you can't pay for the editing, edit less. It's not about fancy editing. It's about the story. It's about your ability to actually communicate. And this brings me to the fourth thing that I would do. I would make consistency a priority from day one. So when I started, I had this idea that quality is better than quantity. And you can probably tell from studying my channel, I was making targeted videos. And what I mean by that is, I would study outliers in my niche, and then I would make my own video on the topic and just showcase my own unique perspective. And some worked, but some didn't. For instance, I made a video about how to use AI to get views, and that video tanked. Up to today, it's not gotten the amount of views that I actually thought it would get. So you don't know which video is going to make it. If you're always chasing videos that will give you a whole lot of views, you end up spending time making just a few videos, when you could have spent that time making a whole lot of videos, and from one of those, you get an outlier. And at the time, one thing I didn't realize that you have to do on YouTube is you have to set yourself up for maximum benefit by the time one of your video finally blows. For example, the video that really got my channel monetized, it was a video about how to use your phone to make professional YouTube videos. And when that video blew up, at some point in time, it was getting 4,000 views every 48 hours. And the other video on how to create fake background was actually getting views close to that also. But there wasn't much videos on my channel at that point to benefit from all that traffic coming from those 2 videos, even though I was already way past 6 months on YouTube. So all the time I spent trying to make the perfect videos, and I could only make a few. If I had spent it making more videos and being more consistent on YouTube, at the time those 2 videos blew up. 1 or 2 from the others may have blown up also. And it's not even just about that, because at that time it seemed as if the algorithm favored those who were spending time making one quality video. But with the change in the algorithm in this year 2026, I've noticed that if you are not putting out a lot of content, you will get forgotten quickly. At a time, I would put out videos and I would be expecting to get views because I was already over 4,000 subscribers. But it seemed that in between the long period of time it took me to actually put out videos, the subscribers were forgetting about me. So if I could do it all over again, consistency would be one of my priorities from day one. The fifth thing is I would not pick a niche based on my passion alone. Because to me, it's quite easy to discover what you really want to talk about on YouTube, what you are passionate about. Everyone has a couple of things that they really have interest in. And there are a lot of videos that will teach you how to discover yours. But what I've found is more important is, after discovering what you want to talk about on YouTube, to me, the most important thing right now is how you want to make your videos that's unique and easy for you to do. Because the truth is, it's not just about your niche. There is a niche inside any niche that you choose on YouTube. And I'm talking about the style of the video. For example, some how to grow on YouTube videos are motivational, some teach retention, some teach about how to make thumbnails, some teach how to use AI to grow on YouTube, some just walk and talk without no fancy editing or fancy studio. So there are different styles in any niche that you choose, and I like to see them as a niche inside a niche. And the truth is, you have to do your best to discover the style that you want inside that your niche, because what I found is the 2026 algorithm isn't forgiving at all. If you start making your videos in one pattern and then you discover that no, this is not what I really want to do, I would rather go about it this way, you will be stuck for a long period of time, because all the views, all the subscribers that came from those videos you were making, they may not click on the new style that you want to make, which you feel is more comfortable and is best for you. And sometimes you just end up stagnated on YouTube just because of that. So don't just pick a niche because of your passion. You have to consider, can I speak about this naturally? Can I edit my videos minimally and it will still cut through to the viewers? Can I be consistent in this niche, in this style, in this pattern? Those are the things you need to consider while you are trying to pick your niche. So let me give you an example here. The two videos I mentioned that got my channel monetized, like I said, one was about how to use your phone to shoot professional YouTube videos. And in that video, I was showcasing an app called Blackmagic Camera, which I'm still using right now to shoot this video. And in the second video where I talked about how to make AI backgrounds, I was talking about how to use Adobe Firefly. Those videos did well, but when I started making motivational videos on how to grow on YouTube, teaching about retention, none of the videos cut through. They were not getting views. And after some time, I realized that those who subscribe to my channel, over 4,000 from just the video on how to use your phone to shoot, they didn't come to learn retention or motivation. They watched those videos to learn specific tools that could help them to grow on YouTube. So if I had put out more videos trying to show how I use tools to grow on YouTube, those videos probably would have gotten a lot of views. And at that point in time in my journey, I was trying to edit less. So the videos themselves, I guess they were not as interesting and flashy as the very first videos. But if you find that you are stuck at this point in your journey also, it's easy to get out of it. You just have to continue making the style of video that you really want to make. And after some time, even though the views are small at first, you'll get the attention that you deserve, depending on how good those videos are. The sixth thing is, I would not chase virality, or I would not chase it the wrong way. What I've come to realize on YouTube is that many people underestimate slow growth, and that was me in the beginning. I wanted to grow fast. I wanted my subscribers to come fast. I wanted the views to come fast. And so, like I said earlier, I was making targeted videos. And it's not as if I would not go about it the same way, or I'm not doing that anymore. But I tend to be more careful about the videos that I pick now, because if you pick a video that you find yourself not wanting to make more of those kind of videos, then you could end up getting your channel stuck. Because when you are known for one thing, it's normal that those who know you are expecting something of that sort from you again. And if you start making something different, like I've explained before, it throws them off and you find out that you've lost their attention. So I found out that I could chase virality by making videos about AI, about tools, but in retrospect, those are not the things that will help me teach people how to grow on YouTube. And that's the main reason I opened this channel. I would rather teach psychology, retention, how to actually create a story with your video, instead of tools that will definitely fade out one day. And for you, the situation may be you've seen a topic that always performs and it's not really in your niche, but you want to ride that wave and you are thinking, let me make a video on this and get views too. But the thing you need to ask yourself is, after that, what next? Are you going to continue in that niche, or will you fall back to your niche? If you fall back to your niche, the effect from getting a bunch of views from a topic that you don't want to talk about, it's still going to be there. When YouTube tests your video with your audience, your subscribers, you'll find out that a majority of them don't want to watch your new video, and that sends a bad signal that will make YouTube not even want to show your videos to new people. So if you're going to chase virality, at least chase it the right way. Make your videos on a topic that you can conveniently make at any point in time. Just start talking without worrying about getting a bunch of views. Because if what you're saying is important, if what you're saying is genuine and you are authentic, the views will definitely come. There's this lady on Instagram called Jessie Jean, I think, and she has started a Yap challenge that has been so successful, and she's teaching people to actually focus on communication, speaking, yapping. She's part of the reason I made this video. My subscribers will definitely note that this video is quite unlike me. It's the first time I'm actually making a video that I intend to post without using a script. And I want to use this opportunity to thank all my subscribers, all my viewers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You've made my journey on YouTube here successful within a short period of time, even though a lot of you came on my channel from videos or video styles that I may not necessarily make soon. I would encourage you to keep watching my videos because I intend to give value. I have noticed that it's so difficult for people to make it on YouTube. Just about 1% of people who are monetized on YouTube can actually make a living from YouTube earnings alone. And that was the challenge that made me start this YouTube channel. I want to teach people how to grow as I progress on my own journey. So if you want to learn other tips from me, watch this video right here where I'll show you 9 things that you shouldn't do after posting on YouTube. Things that can affect your video after you upload. I'll see you there.